Radio.com. The words and opinions you are about to hear are of the hosts and do not reflect the management, sponsors, or affiliates of Cave Radio Broadcasting.
The views and opinions expressed by our show hosts do not necessarily reflect that of Sports Radio Detroit or its sponsors.
Marvin, what do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
Very exciting stuff. I think we're pretty much ready to go here with this podcast.
The hell is a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
You don't have to tape it these days, Frank. You just record it right on the computer.
And once we start recording, Frank, we need you to stop eating those crackers. It's incredibly annoying, and it's all anyone's going to be able to hear.
Dead air.
Could you ease up on the crackers?
I'm getting bored with this. I'm going to bring my guest in.
You're listening to the SRD Roadshow on SportsRadioDetroit.com.
It is a studio of less today. It is just Mike Pro and I here on a Saturday morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the SRD Roadshow on CRBRadio.com and, of course, on demand at SportsRadioDetroit.com. And quite a bit to get to today. In terms of the NBA playoffs, there is the NHL playoffs. There's quite a bit sports-wise going on. But, Mike, how are you?
Pretty good. Feeling fessed up, fired up by a few topics, but I am wide awake. I did have a triple shot espresso, so my heart is pumping.
Just I can actually hear it from here. I can actually hear it, and you're across the room from me at the moment. But so no Ben today. Ben is dealing with some has a family event. Rayvon will be here shortly.
Dick.
Especially because some of the topics today for the ramble, and he'll be here. He said he'd be here for horse, so
right.
He'll be here a little bit before horse or during horse. Or actually, I'm sorry, was it the ramble he said? Maybe it was the ramble.
That's fine. I'm never short of opinions and thoughts. So
yeah, between the two of us, I mean, there's quite a bit going on. But a few minutes into the ramble or before, so he'll be here. But there's a couple things going on, especially ramble wise, that I wanted to get to. Also, I mean, the whole controversy behind the gentleman with the Albert Pujols 2,000th RBI. There's plenty of thoughts about that as well. So, but let's get there's a couple of things in the USA Today. Denver also is in the news too. But I wanted to get to this USA Today thing quickly. And I think hopefully Rayvon comes here to talk about this article too. The average adult in the United States spends almost $1,500 a month on non-essential items, and when it adds up, it's $18,000 a year on items such as restaurant meals, ride shares, drinks, personal grooming, subscription boxes, cable, online shopping, impulse buys, impulse purchases, takeout, delivery, buying lunch, and drinks. And I really think that can we just say that USA Today is just trolling us?
No. I actually really like this just because it makes me feel like shit about my actual spending. And it's actually pretty correct, besides that I spend more than what this study shows. And it kind of like, you don't know that you're doing something wrong until somebody shows you. You know what I mean? So I actually found it very intriguing about the study, and it did make me skip getting a coffee for 2 days because I felt bad about my coffee spending. Because I stop and get a coffee every morning. Sometimes I'll grab a little sandwich or whatnot. But at the same time, I hate making breakfast, and breakfast is the most important meal of the day, which I just had this conversation with one of my Coca-Cola merchandising friends. But I have to get a coffee. I have to get breakfast, but I spend a lot on it. You know what I mean? It might be $5-6 a day. So it was a good study. And yes, I don't spend a lot on grooming, because yes, I do not have the best genes in the world, but so I don't spend on that. But impulse buying, man, I do spend a lot on impulse buying.
I understand. No, I understand the point of the article, and I understand where they're trying to highlight these things and make us conscious aware. But I find it funny, kind of convenient that just about over a week ago, you had the Chase president in Congress getting grilled for how he spends his money and how his staff is being understaffed or salaried and everything, and budgeting-wise. And then a week later, coincidentally, an article comes out like that. And I sometimes I don't believe in coincidences sometimes, and so, but either way, it's just, yes, there is some parts of it that make you kind of go, well, wow, there's a lot of people spending money on what they consider, like, for example, okay, so the whole thing is,
I spent a lot on strawberry Nesquik too.
Oh yeah, no, but okay, for example, the gym classes or memberships, they say, well, you don't really need to spend that if you live a certain life. And it's like, well, what if a gym is something that is essential for your better well-being? Is that if the gym, a doctor tells you should go to the gym because it'll help your mental well-being, help your physical well-being, how's that not essential?
Okay, to the other side of it, just to play devil's advocate, I call BS. This is 2019, I do believe. There's 1,000 apps that you can. I have an app on my phone which I don't use, and it's called Man Builder, and it gives
I have the same one.
You know what I mean? You can do that at home. It gives you 1,000 things that you can do at home, so you don't need to go to the gym. There's a million things that you can do at home. You got Comcast; they got workouts that you can watch on your TV.
But they say cable's not essential.
Okay, now cable is essential. I'll debate all of them, but cable, I cannot live without that one. But you don't have to go to the gym, and there's a huge percentage of people who pay for a gym membership who don't even go.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So that factors in there. So the gym is not completely necessary, but I mean, you do. Some people do need to go, but I mean, I
happen to be one of them. I do work out at home when I can't get to the gym, and I've done recently, before this article came out, which I think was kind of serendipitous, actually. I have been evaluating budgeting and kind of looking at the overall picture of, look at my credit score. I have goals for my credit score. I have goals for budgeting. And I'm able to kind of recognize where my weaknesses are, which is going out to eat.
I spend a lot.
Yeah. My wife and I spend a lot on it because she works midnights. I work days. And sometimes, with this website and everything else that I do on the side, all the side hustles I'm doing, I don't have time to cook. And that's on me. I'll make an excuse for it. It's like, hey, I could do a lot better of a job of that. So
me too, because my thing is, I'm not really good at shopping, so I'll go to the grocery store every day. You know what I mean? So then now I got to figure out what I'm going to eat. So it's just a long process. Now I got to figure out what I need to eat. Then I need to go to the grocery store and get it. Then I got to cook it. Then I got to clean up. You know what? I'll just spend $15-20 and just not have to deal with all that jazz.
Well, I will say this too. In working, the thing is, in public schools or wherever you go, public schools, private schools, doesn't matter. There's not an emphasis on budgeting. There's not enough of a class. They don't teach class like that anymore. I mean, you know what I mean? So, Mike, I've been called cheap, even though I'm not cheap. But did you learn anything how to budget or balance a checkbook in high school or anything like that?
No, but I've always been like, that's what my mom always says, that she's so proud of me just because I am great with money. You know what I mean? I've always had a good job. I've always saved. I've had an IRA retirement plan since I was 16. Who can say that?
Nobody, actually. That's pretty impressive.
So I've been good with money, and I use coupons all the time. I was probably one of the first people to use Groupon 100%. When I found out about that, I use that all the time.
I remember one of the first conversations that we had, by the way, just not interrupt you, but remember when on the old show, and the other guest never had his shit together when it came to money, and I felt like he was kind of jealous. What do you do that you have a house? And it's like, I believed it. I believed that Mike Pro was much more responsible than our other guest was, because when we assisted him, we're like, man, he lives like a fucking pig, man. So,
yep. So I'll do that, but I'm not cheap to save money. Let's just say I'll use a coupon and I'll save $30. You know what? And I'll go spend that $30 again. So I'm not actually saving any of the money that I'm being cheap on. I'll just go buy something else with that money, and that's what my problem is. But hey, You got to live good.
Yeah, but you have your priorities in order, and Rayvon does join us, and Rayvon, I know you saw this article, and we'll get to the other stuff in the ramble real quick, but as a person who is in college, who has to who just graduated, or we're about to graduate.
I'm still in school.
Yeah, you're still in school. You're still in school technically, but
young Thundercats these days.
The Thundercats, but did you find this article like, okay, yes, I am responsible, or was it a little bit too much of this thing lately where we have these articles saying you're living, kind of like almost like a bad parent article?
You're talking about the
USA Today one.
The hallucinogenics.
No, we're not talking about mushrooms yet.
Yeah, no, not yet. We're talking about the average American.
I didn't see that. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
It's a thing that Pap sent over in the chat, and it was the U.S. Today article, and it kind of broke down how everybody spends more than they should every single month. What was it? It came out to like $18,000 a year.
Yeah, a non-essential. So they're saying, for example, that personal grooming is a non-essential item. Ride shares are non-essential at $96. The restaurant meals, drinks, takeout delivery, buying lunch, impulse buys, which makes sense, online shopping, and cable.
See, grooming, I can say that you can do it yourself just because I cut my own hair, but that's just because I have half the hair to cut. You know what I mean? There's not much up there. So
yeah, it blows my mind when Ben tells me he gets a haircut.
I definitely waste a lot of money just buying food for no reason, like going to restaurants. I call it YOLO shopping. Like, you only live once, so you might as well get that $30 buffet.
For sure. I probably spend at least $40 a month on strawberry Nesquik. I got a real issue on that.
By the way, we're giving away a set of the basketball cards that we were talking about yesterday or last week on the show, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking about that during the ramble.
Magic, step down.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
What was that?
Okay,
Big Magic Johnson.
Big Magic Johnson. What has he done? But yeah, we'll give away a set of those cards. We just took a picture. It's on our Instagram and it's on our Facebook page. So if you're listening right now, first and foremost, thank you. And if you want to leave a comment, Pro will be checking the comments on our Instagram and our Facebook here shortly. So
yeah, shout out to the person who I was just talking about, my Coca-Cola merchandise, Christine. She's listening. Shout out to you.
Shout out to her.
Go eat some breakfast.
So in Denver right now, it's the first city to decriminalize hallucinogenic mushrooms, and so this is kind of groundbreaking. Colorado continuing to have that a destination city, if you will. So the ordinance is the Indianated Ordinance 301, or the Denver. I can't even say that word. PSILO.
I got to get to it. I don't even know what you're trying to.
Cybin Mushroom Initiative.
Yeah, psilocybin or something like that.
Yeah, okay. And it was a close vote too. 50.5 voters supported the ordinance, while 49.4 were against it.
Oh, yeah. I won't even try that either.
Yeah,
Cyclobins.
Yeah, there we go. See.
Yeah, but I'm not a drug advocate. You know, I am a strong party promoter, like, hey, go have some fun. But I don't have an issue with that. Anything that's natural, anything that was grown on this earth, it's not chemically induced. You know what I mean? If it, like, because I actually know people who use mushrooms instead of antidepressant drugs. You know what I mean? They low dose on shrooms so they don't have to take some of their medicine. So it's not just because of drugs and stuff like that, or you just want to just see Martians or anything weird. There's actually a lot of things that you can do with mushrooms that actually help your brain. And it's I know a lot of people look at it like, oh, it's just people trying to get high. But no, I personally know 3 different people who low dose on shrooms because it helps them out mentally, and they don't have to take these chemical pills from the pharmacy that who knows what's doing to you in the long run. So yeah, I'm with it. And man, shout out to Denver, man. They're just like Colorado,
ultra progressive state.
Yeah, ultra progressive.
They're killing it. And then all the money they're making off of pot is going to different places.
Meanwhile, the South, Alabama and Georgia want to pass some of the strictest abortion laws ever known to man. Where in one case in Alabama, there was a Senate that they were talking, and they tried to kind of pass it like, oh, no objections. And they try to go on a key. And one guy lost his mind.
Like, hey.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? And there was a woman who was one of only, and all of the Alabama house is all white males. And there's like 2 or 3 black females who are Democratic. And she basically was just saying, in other words, I know this law is going to pass, and I'll see if I can find the audio. But essentially, just you guys are going to do what you guys are going to do. But essentially, 99 years in prison for getting an abortion.
That's absurd.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? That's just, I don't know. I think that's, I don't think that's for certain people to decide.
Yep. Yeah. And
there's a lot of circumstances that
there's too many variables.
Yeah. But
now we don't. Let's. We're not going to get out too crazy with that because there's just a lot of weird things in the world going on with it, and there's so much moving parts with it. But it's still, nevertheless, Denver is very progressive, very very ahead of the curve a little bit when it comes to those kind of things. So.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that like just because a drug becomes legalized doesn't mean that it'll become in the hands of children all of a sudden. People like to use that argument a lot.
With the children.
Yeah, and my thing is like just because like if heroin for some reason gets legalized tomorrow, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden people are going to start doing it. There's an education that comes with it, like you know the consequences of it. So I think as long as that's accompanied with these policies that become legalized. And in the article, it said it's not legalizing mushrooms. It's just they're not focusing so much on imposing criminal penalties for people who are doing it. So.
Here's how everything going crazy here.
Excuse me. He did not make a motion.
He made a motion to table.
Make a motion. There was no motion from the other side.
He made a motion to table. Senator.
Heck no.
Hey.
heck no. That's when you know you're in the down south.
He made a motion to table.
What was the motion made?
The motion.
No motion was made. You just
excuse me, Senator Chambliss. You're recognized.
I don't care what the chair is about.
Thank you, Mr.
He did not make a motion.
He said, "Heck no."
The number of abortions that have
no.
That's funny.
this
But yet,
year versus the
I'm cool with
rape
that.
and incest.
Surprised they didn't throw a shoe.
He did not make a motion.
There are 325,000 abortions that have been performed this
I have a
year,
point of order.
and a little over 3,000.
State your point of order.
Senator Figures?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. My point of order is that when Senator Singleton was here talking before, he made it perfectly clear that everything we voted on, he wanted a long roll call vote. And well, hold on, Senator. So I just want to bring back, I know you all are for this bill, and I know this bill is going to pass. You're going to get your way, but at least treat us fairly and do it the right way. That's all that I ask. That's all that my Democratic colleagues ask.
Yeah, shout out to her. But yeah, I'm with that. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be a strong penalty just because you have shrooms on you. That's not heroin. You ain't got crack. Mushrooms and crack you shouldn't get the same penalty.
I agree.
And 100% people are being treated the same exact way, like you're just some dope head or some dope dealer for shrooms and crack is not the same thing. Shrooms and heroin is not the same thing. So it shouldn't be treated the same. 100%. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I have it, but I shouldn't go to jail for 10, 15 years because I got some shrooms in my pocket or something. You know what I mean? That's right. Nah, bro. So
yeah. What's interesting too about this, in terms of even there's certain things that are like just the element of it's added, an added element I don't think is even needed. I mean, there's some people who can't even get their life back together after smoking a joint or whatever the case may be. But anyway, no, it's very progressive. But what's also trying to be progressive is Uber drivers. And I Ubered for a minute. I did both, and it is now they're striking. They struck out on Wednesday. It was a couple days after Uber's IPO, which came out to be the evaluation of $80.53 billion or evaluation to around 91. So it is mind-blowing to think about how much the value and the drivers. There's some drivers, New York City, for example, has 2 hours demand job security, living wages, and a commission rate, according to the release from the New York Taxi Workers Alliance. L.A. had a full 24 hours, a couple cities, Chicago, Boston, and Philly. So a statement from Lyft has said, Lyft drivers' hourly earnings have increased over the last 2 years, and they've earned more than $10 billion on the Lyft platform. And over 75% drive less than 10 hours a week to supplement their existing income. And on average, Lyft drivers earn $20 an hour. That is total another bullshit.
That's not it for everybody, because I do know people who do make that. You know what I mean? Yes, they should be cut a little bit. They should make more money because the company's making more money. It should be on like a sliding scale. Hey, we're getting paid up here, so let's trickle it down. So that means more people will want to do it because they're getting paid better. You know what I mean? That's just like a lot of problems that we talked about last week. Nobody wants to be a teacher because you're going to make $12 an hour. Who the hell wants to do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? But if they're going to make more money, it's going to make more people want to work there, which is, in return, it's going to make more money for them. So I get that. My thing is, yes, okay, $20, $25 an hour, right? Shut up. If you're making that and you're complaining, shut up. My issue with it is when people have to pay $300 to $500 extra to file their taxes because they're considered like their own business. That's wrong, and that should be dealt with. Not okay. Yes, wages should be a little bit better, but my biggest issue with it is I shouldn't have to pay an extra $300 just because I Ubered. That's not fair. I could see if I'm doing it full time and I made $30,000 off of Uber. All right. Maybe you do need to break that off.
Yeah, a lot of these like delivery services, like Uber and even Grubhub, they've been like, taking the court against like I don't want to say employees because they're not considered employees, but the independent contractors who work for them. And I know when I was in Puerto Rico a while ago, there was like these Uber wars going on between taxi companies and Uber drivers because the taxi drivers felt like you're taking my livelihood away, you're taking my career away. And so there was like this big war that if a taxi driver saw like a civilian getting into an Uber, they would like pull them out and like really stop the Uber from
that's reckless
taking that customer. I mean, I'm not sure how the strike is going to really help them get around the whole point of being considered independent contractors, because that's the root of the issue, is that you don't get the benefits of a full-time employee.
It's small things like what they're doing. Like they stopped Ubering during the 2-hour peak time of a certain day, which cost the company millions. Just like when BP dropped all that oil and didn't really do shit about it. There were certain days that, all right, hey, nobody go to BP today. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so now other people are going to other gas stations. Now, just that small act right there, hey, just don't go to BP today, cost them millions. So they had to do more about that. So yes, it might sound minuscule. Oh, they're going to strike for an hour, but no, they're striking during peak hours where Uber and Lyft are getting like double the rate. So yes, doing that, if they consistently do that, hey, let's do it again. I mean, maybe once every 2 weeks. I know it's going to tax us. We want that double money too, but maybe we do it once a month, once every 2 weeks. Eventually, they're like, hey, we're losing more money than what they're asking to get back from us, and something's going to happen. You know what I mean? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah, you're right. And the thing is, too, is even like when I drove, it is what you make. The experience is what you make of it. I mean, I made money, but I was taxed to death half of it too. So. But,
yeah, they got to work on that the tax part of it 100%.
Yeah, and it's really either way it's interesting too, but nevertheless it didn't really, I don't know, affect. There's not, I don't know if Uber is popular around here. I think it's only popular on the weekends. I see a lot of cars, but I don't see like.
I think Lyft is more popular now.
Yeah, I think Detroit's more of not known for mass transit.
No,
let's just say that.
Not the Q line.
No, definitely. And even like Dallas has got a really nice mass transit system too. But moving on, last part of the ramble is the XFL gets a huge TV deal, and they'll be on ESPN, ABC, and Fox.
This is huge.
This is huge. Yeah, and
I think they got the benefit of seeing the AF fail, and then they get to follow up. Okay, what did they do wrong? Now we can do something different. Now I don't know what type of like back scratcher they had to give to get this deal, and the AF couldn't. But as time goes on, I kind of feel like the XFL will make it, because the one thing that the AF didn't have that the XFL does is deep pockets from Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? Like, whoever ran the numbers, it was probably somebody's 6-year-old kid for AF, and the numbers didn't match, but they decided to still go along with it. You know what I mean? So they ran out of money. How do you run out of money before the season's over? So the XFL has deep pockets because Vince McMahon is behind it, so they're not going to run out of money. And then now they got a TV deal out of it too. So I think it's pretty huge, and they're going to do. I saw a plan that they're going to ask certain QBs, like I forgot the quarterback from is a quarterback Jacksonville drafted, who's more than likely going to get cut, be on the practice squad. Like, hey, we're going to give you $1 million. You're going to come play for us and just not be on their active roster. And it's going to be, it may not be a developmental league like through all positions, but it will turn into at least a quarterback developmental league with some of these players will move up.
Well, what's interesting too is, well, I mean, he has had a relationship with ESPN because wrestling has been getting in some Sports Center headlines, and their Fox has already done some stuff with wrestling in the past. So that's where he had that relationship with. And again, he did sell him the technology behind the camera that you see across. So Vince McMahon used his old resources to make this happen.
For sure.
And
he's got favors in the game.
Yeah, WWE is still a viable option. I mean, the average age is still older because they still appeal. So the wrestling is kind of in state of a weird flux because it's not getting any younger as a demographic, but that older audience is still, and they're hardcore. And he's also going to own all the teams too. So there's no individual ownership. So he gets to kind of control the message, and this is exactly what Vince wants. He learned a lot from his first mistakes.
And the coach is going to be the GM instead of having two different. You know, you got a GM, you got a coach.
Yeah.
Like, no, the coach is GM. He's going to pick his players. He's going to put them on the field, which I can dig that. So they're looking at the failures of the AF and doing something different.
It says it's going to kick off next year, right after Super Bowl time. So that's pretty huge.
Yeah, you that vacuum of football not being there. I mean, imagine us next year talking XFL and breaking it down. I mean, that's gonna happen. If I can have a chance to play that drop as much as possible, I will. And it's just 46 seconds. That's 45 seconds of him doing that. Yeah.
I just love when Stone Cold stunners him.
Yeah.
Pour the beard on.
Yeah, that's. I think it's poetic justice, if you will. So, no, but honestly, the XFL I think is going to succeed because of how much Vince McMahon has pulled in. I mean, look who's he's best friends with, the President of the United States. So
I don't know if that's something that you should brag about.
Well, he can. I mean, he can these days. But moving on, it's now time for horse. By the way, way to go Houston last night. You had a chance to win that game, and yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
there's plenty to get to. So,
there's a lot of NBA narratives that it's like, man, I wish we had a couple more letters of horse this week.
I mean, we can extend horse. It's just between the three of us, and I've been watching a lot of basketball. So yeah, definitely we can go on. It's just three of us. No one's gonna tell me what to do today.
Do you want me to read?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
All right. H. Golden State advances past Houston to the Western Conference Final without Kevin Durant. As Stephen Curry making his case as the greatest point guard of all time, eclipsing the great Big Magic Johnson.
Big Magic Johnson.
I love that.
Well, he's a business person.
He has AIDS.
He's got AIDS.
He's got AIDS. It's like,
can you tell me?
Like, that's just so weird, though. Yeah. But no, he is going to go down as the greatest shooter of all time. But I could just be speaking out of Laker fandom, but he's got a lot to do to get past Magic Johnson, especially just because he doesn't have the assist numbers like Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? So he's a shooter. He's a pure shooter. You know what I mean?
Right.
He could be a 2 guard. You know what I mean? So I don't always see him as a point guard. I even forget that he is a point guard just because, you know what I mean, he gets assists like Derek Fisher, and that ain't nothing to brag about. But I mean, I love Stephen Curry, and the Rockets blew that, but that's not a part of this question. But
if he ties him in championships, what do you feel that he has to do to pass him at that point?
Get 10 assists a game for 3 seasons. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna have the best shooting percentage. He's gonna break every 3-point record. You know what I mean? He's gonna go down as the best shooter, and that's what he's gonna go down as. You know what I mean? He's got a lot to do to surpass Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? Because Magic could play the point forward. Please don't put Steph Curry at the 4. You know what I mean? You get destroyed. You know what I mean? So he has a lot to do to get past that. I wouldn't even put him even put him above Oscar Robertson. You know what I mean? But he is a pure shooter, and I knew at some point it's going like at halftime of that game yesterday, Curry had 0 points and the game was basically tied. I was like, bruh, shooters gonna shoot, and all it takes is one basket to go in for that mind. But I can't make it. Oh, now the rim's bigger. I mean, he scored 33 in the second half, which is phenomenal. I mean, do you know that yesterday's game, which I finished watching this morning, you know, whatever. That was the most points he ever scored in the fourth quarter, and which was mind-boggling. But I was like, that carried him though.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like when people start making their all-time, you know, not necessarily like greatest players, but like who's the greatest point guard, who's the greatest shooting guard, and they rank the top players at each position, I think he will kind of jump over him as like the greatest point guard. Like if you want to start a team with somebody, I think the era that he's playing in, he revolutionized the game from the 3-point line. And I think another thing was just how people can view your greatness as a whole. And I think because Magic has some off-the-court issues and just how he left the Lakers, I mean, it's recency bias, yes, but...
And that's all it is. He's going to be the best point guard of this generation. You know what I mean? But if you look back all the time, yes, he's going to have a higher scoring percentage, more threes. But to be a point guard, you have to dish dimes. He doesn't dish dimes. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking at the position, you know what I mean? Like that's like asking the recycle man, is he a good garbage man? Like, no, I pick up recycle. You know what I mean? They're doing two different things. He's going to score. He scores in bunches. Probably the purest shooters of all time. But to be a point guard, you got to dish it out. And Magic Johnson played all positions. Steph Curry plays one position.
I was going to bring up Rayvon's point, though. He was saying yesterday about his personal life with that makes him a complete player, correct? I want to make sure I understood what you said yesterday on Twitter.
I mean, it's kind of like I feel like how Kobe Bryant is kind of left off sometimes. It's like I know people always like recognize his like greatness on the court, but I think as a whole, like when you like look at them, like their whole profile, I think people do factor in off the court stuff for some reason.
And it's not fair.
No, it's not. And like the thing about Magic Johnson is in terms of his off the court stuff with all the extramarital stuff like that. What's funny to me is that people will judge him for that kind of, like, everybody judges that kind of behavior, but there's a lot of people who judge him who have no business to judge whatsoever, A. And B, most importantly, it's the athlete, the body of work. I mean, if like, for example, Ty Cobb, like, he's known as the notorious racist and total asshole. There's a lot of players across baseball who have the same reputation. And they're not, but they're known as greats. So on the field, they're greats. Off the field, they're shitty people.
Yeah, I separate the two, and I'll never combine the two because who's one of the best sinners of all time?
Shaq. I mean, there's Wilt.
Wilt Chamberlain. Oh, we shouldn't like Wilt Chamberlain because he probably had sex with 20,000 women. You know what I mean? Like, should we count that? No, you can't. You can't. You got to separate on and off the court 100%. You know what I mean? Like. That's damaging. He had sex with 20,000 women, possibly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is
Who knows? I mean,
but so you got to separate the two. But as a point guard and a person who loves Jason Kidd, you know what I mean? Like I would, as a point guard, I would almost choose Jason Kidd over that just because that's Mr. Triple Double. I mean, yes, Russell is killing triple doubles now, but he 10, 10, and 10. You know what I mean? He was putting up those numbers. Steph Curry, how many triple doubles does Steph Curry have?
I understand your point. I think what I'm saying is he might not be the best point guard in terms of like how a point guard is defined, but I think he'll go down as the best player to play the point guard position, if that makes sense. I think there's a distinct difference.
We can bet on that.
Yeah, because honestly, as a point guard, I think Magic Johnson is the far superior guard because he was able to.
He had a height advantage too.
Yeah, the height advantage too. But yeah, for a guy his height, he played the point guard, which was unheard of at that time. It was revolutionary, and it kind of set the pace for people like Jason Kidd. So.
And if Ben Simmons develops a shot, you know what I mean? I think that Ben Simmons has a better trajectory than Steph Curry just because of his court vision. But sticking with the Warriors, we go to they may be getting boogie. They may be getting boogie with it before the end of the season. Will he help or hurt the team? And will this help or hurt his free agency?
I think if they're going against Milwaukee, it'll for sure help them because Milwaukee, they have a lot of giants over there. You got Lopez, you got their whole front court. I mean, even their guards are just everybody's like 6'7" or taller except for Bledsoe. So they're going to present a lot of physicality to the Warriors, and they need to match that. And then with Durant kind of, recovering still, you can kind of insert Boogie if he's ready to go, just to not overextend Kevon Looney. But I think it helps his free agency case if he resigns with the Warriors. I think if he's looking to get paid somewhere else, I'm not sure if that's going to happen until he proves himself again back on the court.
I agree. I mean, I think that even if he has a good series, if they end up going to the NBA Finals and they play the Bucks or 76ers or the Raptors, although I think it's going to be the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think it's looking that way. I think he's looking to get paid, but I don't think he's. But I think it's not going to happen. I think it's unrealistic for him, especially his injuries, but also even he shows some inconsistent when he was good. I mean, when he was in New Orleans, he had the explosiveness, but I don't think you're gonna see a different version of Cousins going forward. I don't think it's going to be like what happened with Amani Stoudemire. After a knee injury, he was never really the same explosive guy. He had to change his game, and I think that's what's going to happen with Cousins. I think Cousins is going to be a completely different player, and depending on how his performance is, I think he's going to get that fat payday.
He'll get some money. Somebody will overpay for him. You know what I mean? He'll get between $15 and $20 million a year. That's what he's good for. You know what I mean? It's almost similar to Des Bryant last year. You know what I mean? Like he sat out for so long, then we tried to get his big ass on the field. He was out of shape and tore his Achilles. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for Boogie. You can't. There's not much that you can do to come back with Achilles to try to get your, you know what I'm saying, get your legs going. Yes, he did have not a lot of games, but he had enough of games. But it's still, as a big dude, you need games to get your legs going and to get fit.
Right.
I mean, you look at him, it looks like, you know what I mean, that's no salad eater. You know, that he is no salad eater, 100%.
He likes a lot of cheeseburgers.
So like you need reps to get fit, and you can just see him before he got hurt. When you look at the replays, like, bro, he can get hurt just trying, and then he did. So, I mean, I proposed this question before Durant went down, and 100% is going to help the Warriors just because they are thin. Just like I'm drawing a blank right now, but he's not even their biggest person. They had another center who started for them who got hurt, who hasn't played since before Christmas.
Damian Jones.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So he was their starting center.
Damian Jones.
He was their starting center before Boogie, and then he went down as well, and then he could come back. And I just seen a report that just came out like 4 hours ago that Boogie is in line to come back for the Western Conference. But they don't need him. You know what I mean? Because
against Jokic.
No, they don't need them. You know why? Because first round they played 7 games. Second round they're playing 7 games. And if you ask Mike Malone, the coach of the Nuggets, he just complained about the Warriors and the Rockets getting that extra day off. You know why he's complaining about that? Because the team's tired. You're not going to play 7 games and come against the Warriors who have an additional 3 days off than you and try to beat them. Every time the Warriors play the Nuggets, they beat them by 40 this year.
I know.
So
that's why I want to see Portland.
That's what I mean. So Portland has the better chance against them, but there's still no chance against the Warriors because they had. Even though Durant is a key piece of their team, they got their key pieces, you know what I'm saying? Clay, Steph, Draymond. There's no chance for whoever wins between Denver and Portland, 100%.
I think here's the thing. I think if Portland wins that series, I think Portland would give more of a fighting chance. But I guess I can't just – because I love to see Damian Lillard against Steph Curry. That's the matchup I really want to see because –
That's another – good point guard, and I love Damian. He's going to go down in the Hall of Fame. He's got clutch.
And then
he killed OKC.
But CJ McCollum too, and that backcourt right there. That's a matchup I want to see. I mean, no offense to Denver or anything. Denver's, you're right though. They're tired. The extra day off doesn't help either. But I think the one thing about Denver too is, I mean, both Denver and Portland do not. Whoever, regardless of winning the series, they don't have enough playoff experience against the likes of Golden State.
And I always confuse the names just because they're so close. Nurkic and Jokic, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's way too close, and they're both centers, you know what I mean? But he was there for the Trailblazers. He was their second best player before he went down. So if they had him, it would be more competition. But shout out to Ernest Cantor.
Yeah, Enes. Yeah,
Enes Cantor, who practices, who's going through Ramadan, who can't eat.
And his shoulder's messed up.
Doesn't take pain meds, has to wait till midnight to get treatment, or you know what I mean? Like,
and he's facing random threats from the Turkish government.
Yeah, and he got the threats, and he's going against the healthy Jokic or whatever his name is. You know what I mean? So he's going against him. But imagine playing at this level and not being able to eat. You know what I'm saying? Having terrible shoulder pain and then not being able to do treatment till midnight, and then all of his teammates are laughing at him because at midnight he'll take a painkiller and eat 9 PB&J sandwiches real quick just because he has a small time to eat and to not drink anything or anything to hydrate yourself or these extra things on the sideline. That's deep. He reached out to Hakeem Olajuwon for tips to get him through this because there's not too many people who practice this who are in the playoffs when Ramadan are going on. So I think I want to give a big shout out to him for sure.
Yeah, because he's going to be playing with an edge, and imagine how you play when you're or how you are when you're hungry.
Oh man!
So you guys are picking Portland in Game 7?
I mean, they did win on the road in Denver, so
it's another game that nobody really cares.
No.
It's honestly been the best series, like the most competitive.
That overtime series, that overtime game was one of the best games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
but the actual TV ratings for that series are down just because not a lot of people do actually care. And to take a step back, the Warriors had to win last night because do you know what that time their tip-off would have been on Sunday? They would have had a noon tip-off on Sunday, so they would have played 2 games before the other two 4 teams would have played their Game 7, which is I feel is a major impact. So it was a good win on them, but I do think Portland would take this series.
And I don't want the narrative that LeBron's on the playoffs. That's why ratings are down. It has nothing. I'm so sick of it because even this morning when I was watching my highlights,
I don't think that's the reason why though.
Yeah, I don't think that's the reason why either. The reason I get so pissed is because the headline is LeBron congratulates Stephen Curry for a Warrior for being playing like a champion. Who cares? You're out of playoffs. Do I need to know what the hell you have to say? No. I'm so I
thought that was pretty whack for him to say that.
Yeah, exactly. Get the hell out of here, man.
But you do realize that there's 15 other people who aren't in the playoffs who congratulate him. I didn't hear. But here's the thing.
Exactly.
Wait. I didn't hear either of you two talking about that they shouldn't have said it. You know what I mean? But people were just
no. What I'm saying is, how come ESPN didn't talk about what they said then? That's what I'm saying. Keep it balanced. Then if there's other people out there saying something, then I want to hear from them. I don't give a shit what LeBron says because he's going to say things just to get
attention. Yeah.
Well, we're moving to the Lakers.
Yes. Speaking of a shit show. How's that protest? How'd that protest go?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But for R, what's the first few words that come to mind when you think Lakers? You guys can go first.
I'm gonna say unfunny joke. It's a joke for sure, but it's not a funny joke. Are they trying to sabotage LeBron James's career with them? I mean, you bring in Ty Lue and then you lowball him. You offer him a 3-year deal, which, to my understanding, most coaches get offered at least 5 years on the table. Luke got a 5-year deal as soon as he left Sacramento. They tried to lowball Monty Williams, so he took. You know it's bad when a coach takes the Phoenix Suns job over the Lakers job, and now they're bringing in all these random candidates like Frank Vogel, JB Bickerstaff, Lionel Hollins. This is like, come on now, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I don't know, Pro. Hang on a second, I'm trying to get this. Mike, before we get to you, Mike, it just
yeah, because I am Mr. Laker, so I do have some strong thoughts on this. But yeah, I can't.
And that protest wasn't much of a protest.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
it was.
We have audio from that, but go ahead.
Yeah, see, I can't believe what's going on with the incompetent. You know what I mean? Like front office, like 100%. That's exactly how I feel. So, so they lowball Tyronn Lue with a 3-year deal because they only view him as a coach for LeBron.
Right.
Okay.
My uncle had Magic. My older brother had Kobe. I have LeBron. He's brought me nothing. A change needs to happen right now. Get Bus out here. They're too incompetent for this city, and we don't want it. See the ring? That's what I want to see in this.
Yeah.
Right?
The kid's face is so punchable.
But so they didn't want to offer Monty Williams a deal because they wanted to top it, which is stupid. You mean they don't offer Tyronn Lue a long-term deal because they only view him as a LeBron coach, and then you view Jason Kidd as a strong candidate, but you don't want to give him a job, possibly because he has a domestic abuse allegation against him, but he's good enough to be an assistant. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. He's good enough to be assistant, but not good enough to be a head coach. That makes absolutely no sense. You got Kurt Rambis doing the coaching search, which the only reason why he has the coaching search is because his wife is Jeannie Buss's best friend. You know what I mean? And Jeannie Buss's dad trusted Kurt Rambis. No, let's get out the old narrative of what my dad liked and what daddy wanted the whole 9 yards. You can't keep doing this.
You know that kid sounded like, by the way?
Leave Brittany alone.
You know what I mean? It's a complete disgrace.
Of nepotism? Yes.
You know, Rob Pelinka should not be running anything. I've been saying that since he got hired, and I will repeat it over and over again. Everybody in the whole league hates him. You can't be an agent and then go be a GM. There's multiple GMs that I've heard talk so much trash about Rob Pelinka. You mean so many GMs have called him a pathological liar. If that's the dude making deals and people won't call him back, no, he should not be making deals. 100%. Why do you have him? Why do you have him at the top if nobody returns his phone calls because they hate him because of other deals they took? You know what I mean? People still hate him over the Carlos Boozer. The hell is that? Oh yeah,
yeah.
People still hate him over the Carlos Boozer deal. How he treated Cleveland. I promise I'm going to sign, and then he takes $25 million to go to Utah. You know what I mean? So that's still spurning him. If that's right or wrong, either way, there's so many GMs that I've personally heard talk trash about this man. He should not be running the team. Magic Johnson was the lead dog, and then when he wanted to get rid of Rob Pelinka and the coach, they weren't really about that. And then Rob Pelinka wants to talk shit about Magic Johnson. It's absolutely trash. And I love the Lakers, but I'm just flabbergasted that they're wasting great players. They're wasting a great talent of LeBron James, and nobody wants to come there because of the bullshit at the top.
It's almost like they're sending a message to LeBron, like, you're not running anything.
But I don't even think it has nothing to. They're just failing 100%. I'm not saying that they should have sold the team, but the rest of the Buss family wanted to sell the team, and Jeannie did not want to, and now she's destroying the damn team by making some dumbass decisions. You know what I mean? Kurt Rambis' wife is a special projects person. What the hell is she doing? What type of special projects? Because you got your best friend. No, you're paying her to pass out flyers. It goes all the way to the top. Nobody's doing anything right there, and nobody wants to come there. Who the hell chooses the Phoenix Suns job over the Lakers job?
Well, the reason it feels like they're trying to send a message to him because it's like, obviously LeBron went on his show on The Shop and talked about his reaction to Magic stepping down, and then you see Jeannie Buss posting dinner photos with him, like, Lakers forever, and they're catching up, and it's like that shows you're not sticking by your franchise player. That shows you're pretty much siding with Magic, who stepped down on you. That makes no sense. And then you're going to lowball a championship coach.
I guarantee you, Mark Jackson would take the 3-year deal, but he's only good enough for an assistant coach job. Why the hell would he take an assistant coach job? He gets paid more as a TV analyst. That's a dumb move. That makes absolutely no sense.
Not to mention, I don't think Mark Jackson was ever a good head coach. I think Mark Jackson.
No, he was a good coach. He laid the foundation of what the Warriors are. So if
they wouldn't have never won.
You know what I mean? They probably would have never won, but he still laid the foundation with the player development. Just like Jason Kidd probably would have never won with the Bucks. But if you ask any one of those young players on the Bucks, they would say that, hey, he was great for our player development 100%. So if you're going to give credit to these teams, you at least got to give credit to dude who kind of raised them and developed them into the players that they are right now. Yes, maybe Jason Kidd may not be a great head coach, but he would be a good assistant coach to develop some of these players, because that's how all the players of his past have talked about him.
The thing is, ultimately, for the Lakers right now are, when the LA mayor tells everybody the Clippers are the official LA team, it's like tabloid BS, man. It's getting ridiculous, and I don't know why the LA mayor has to chime in. Like, I don't care what you think, LA mayor. I'm you know what I insulted him by not even looking up his name.
It's got me fired up.
No, because why does the LA mayor have to chime in with this? Because he wants to get Clipper. The same guy. It's Eric Gardacetti. Excuse me. Who was actually he refers to Los Angeles as Angeloans.
Yeah, I don't even care what he has to say, just because he's Steve Ballmer's friend. So you.
I was gonna say he has some ties.
Kick rocks, bro. You know what I mean? Kick rocks. You know what I mean? Your name's not in the news, so you want to say something. Nobody cares. Do your job, which you're failing at too, young man.
Where do the Lakers go from here? I mean,
wait. I have the audio, by the way. I have the audio.
I need to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, this is the most fired up I've seen in a while.
Mayor Garcetti, how you doing? TMZ, how are you? Hey, really quick. Yeah. You are the mayor of LA, and
sure.
So LA sports teams are
like dumb questions
around here.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw it, but the Lakers. There's rumors that Jeannie Buss has pressure to trade LeBron.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
No, we want LeBron to stay. We want some talent to come join him. Keep the young talent that we have.
Okay.
There's always a tough year. We've all had them.
Right.
LeBron just went through it. But we got to stabilize things and make sure that he can still have 3, 4, 5, 6 good years. He can't retire without some more crowns, and those crowns should be with Laker, gold, and purple.
Okay, so don't leave. Lakers. Apparently, Ty Lue was supposed to be the coach.
Right.
They only offered him 3 years. Did they screw up by not making Ty Lue the coach?
Yeah, look, Ty Lue had been good.
What the hell does he have to do with anything?
But let's find somebody, some new talent. Let's find the next one for the next decade.
Okay.
Not just for the LeBron era, but who will get us through LeBron's closing act and the beginning of our next one.
Is LA a Clippers town or a Lakers town?
Right now, it's a Clippers town.
Oh, no.
Oh, there it is.
Whatever. That TMZ dude's stupid. Hey, you're the mayor. No shit.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I hated. Like, that was that whole.
How about you ask him about the reports of him cheating on his wife? But we're not going to go there. You know what I mean? You're asking him dumbass questions. He's the mayor.
Really?
He has nothing to do with sports. You know what I mean? So, and he's a friend of Steve Ballmer. So I don't even care
makes
about
the Lakers look even.
You know what I mean?
I
don't even care about that part. You know what I mean? Just
the Lakers. By the way, the Clippers have stupid jerseys. Honestly, those new jerseys they've gotten, they look dumb. I like
the black ones actually.
The black, but I'm talking about the logo itself. It's like, what the hell is that? Like, it looks like some sort of. I've never. The old Clipper logo wasn't good either, because it's just the basketball and Clippers in cursive. But I mean,
the only positive thing about the Ty Lue I feel like I'm saying his name wrong.
Yeah, Ty Lue.
Tyrone, whatever his damn name is. You know what I mean?
Better call Tyrone.
They straight from Kyrie's camp, Kyrie and Tyronn Lue hate each other. Absolutely hate each other.
Who doesn't Kyrie hate?
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that Kyrie Irving hates, but they said that there's zero chance of Kyrie coming to LA, which before the door was shut, it's not a possibility. But now from his camp, it is a real possibility. That option is on the table. But if Tyronn Lue was the coach of the Lakers, there was a 0% chance of Kyrie coming to the Lakers. So that's the only positive that I could get from Tyrone not being a coach. But it's a complete disaster, 100%.
So should LeBron request a trade? Because people have been saying that he should just demand a trade if he doesn't get the coach that he wants.
That's stupid. Just because he's doing he's doing exactly what his first year plans of being in LA are. He's got 15 different productions going right now.
Right.
He didn't have any plans of being in the playoffs this year at all. So it's not like he's just devastated. Yes, all this is just crazy surrounding the organization, but he never
guy who recruited him stepped away. So that does factor into it.
If it does factor in, but regardless if Magic was there or not, LeBron was coming to L.A. He wouldn't have got a $100 million house in L.A. if he wasn't planning on being there. He wouldn't have. He loves his children. Shout out to him for being a great father. He loves his children. He would not have enrolled his kid into one of the best prep schools in L.A. if he was not planning to be there. He plans on being around his kids. So once I seen that his son was enrolling at this school during his last season in Cleveland, that's when I started saying, like, yeah, LeBron's going to L.A. 100%.
Yeah.
Because regardless of Magic being there or not, he was going to L.A.
I don't know. I don't know what the Lakers do from here on out, because it's like your assets, the young players, I don't really see you getting much back for them. You're not getting Anthony Davis this offseason. It doesn't look like.
Depends. All depends on how that.
I don't think New Orleans wants to do a deal with the Lakers. That's kind of what it feels like.
Nobody wants to do a deal with Rob Pelinka.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just how they came out with this. Rob Pelinka came out with this trade stuff. I truly believe that was his decision to come out with these rumors and the whole 9 yards. And it blew up in his face. Now, everything can change when whatever that vampire is, a commissioner of the NBA.
Oh yeah, Adam Silver.
He looks like a vampire.
No, he looks like Nosferatu. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we said that before.
When that ball comes up and the Lakers get the number 1 pick, everything changes. You know what I mean? But that's
2% chance.
But there's a 2%. But that's all it takes.
Yeah.
They have nothing to offer. But if they get a top 2 pick, changes everything.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they should trade Alonzo Ball somewhere. LeBron can be the point guard, and you get okay. I do think that Jimmy Butler will probably re-sign
with the Sixers.
With the Sixers, but you don't need a point guard. I honestly feel that LeBron James at this stage of his career, he can be that point guard, or unless Kyrie goes there.
Well, if you trade Lonzo, then you can't move Brandon Ingram, and that's a problem too.
Depends on what you're getting back.
Let's go. All right, enough Laker talk. We've gone for like 10 minutes with the damn Lakers. All right, we're
but moving on. Who did more to sully their postseason reputation? Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, or James Harden?
That's a tough question, and honestly, I give it to Russell Westbrook. And it's like 1A between him and Kyrie Irving. Jesus,
the disrespect.
Yeah. I would have to disagree. You mean because Russell Westbrook, you know what you're going to get from him, and he gave it to you in the playoffs. That's what he does. You mean Kyrie Irving? You knew the Celtics. That's just it was just a bad decision because the Celtics play and a pace and space play, and Kyrie Irving is more ball dominant. So that's more failed on the coach and the organization on that part. Kyrie Irving gave you what Kyrie Irving gives every single year. You know what I mean? Who's a potential MVP of this year? James Harden.
Right.
Was there a single James Harden MVP performance in this series with the with the Warriors.
Man, get the Lakers out of your damn mind.
I know.
Man.
So, was there an MVP performance against the Warriors? Yes or no?
If you look at the numbers alone, you'd say he did well. He averaged 34, but no, not to the eye test.
So that's supposed to be the MVP. He won the MVP last year. He's potentially supposed to win the MVP this year. Kyrie wasn't even close to being an MVP.
Right.
You know what I mean? Russell wasn't even in a discussion for the MVP. James Harden was. All right. When Kevin Durant left with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, do you know how many points James Harden scored in that fourth quarter?
Did he even shoot the ball?
He shot the ball 4 times. He scored 3 points in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant is carrying the Warriors, and you didn't score in the fourth quarter. Now, the next game, there is no Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be taking over. Yes.
At home.
Yeah. You did what LeBron does, and, okay, regardless of win or lose, he's going to get his numbers. So it kind of he packs the stat line. But you're supposed to be the MVP. Show me what an MVP does, and you take this game at home. That 100% James Harden. He hurt his.
I'm going to say Kyrie because I agree with you. Russ, no one really projected the Thunder to win the championship or anything like that. I mean, the Rockets were kind of like, if you can beat Golden State, then you have a shot. But the Celtics were projected to get there and at least take the Warriors to 6 or 7 in the finals. And the fact that the Celtics had more success without Kyrie is more of an indictment on his style of play, I feel. It confirms that he cannot be the number one option on a championship team. Whereas I still think James Harden could be if the Warriors became weaker over time. I think he still could be the number one option on a championship team. But I think Kyrie kind of sullied his the most because the expectations were the greatest on his team, and he didn't deliver.
Yeah, but I also think that a lot to do with the Rockets is the way Mike D'Antoni runs his rotations. Too. Horrible job with that whatsoever. And I think the Warriors were a better team. Let's not kid ourselves here. However, if you look at the way Houston D'Antoni has managed or coached and given those guys minutes and everything, I think the Rockets were just flat out tired. It's not an excuse on James Harden's part. And James Harden should have stepped up yesterday. And I watched that game. I was with my father last night. I was watching it in his room at the hospital, and the entire time I'm sitting there like taking notes, and it was just like watching him just like they didn't make the last minute they started making all those threes.
Yeah,
and it was by then it was like 2.
That's what I'm saying. He packs a stat sheet. Now, yes, Chris Paul and James Harden, that was their best game collectively throughout this entire playoffs. I think they scored 72 of the team's points. You know what I mean? So yes, that's phenomenal. But there was no MVP performance. Now, to talk about Kyrie, that was more of an organization fail. You know what I mean? You're a pace and space team with a ball dominant point guard. That's hurting you. You know what I mean? You got Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, who carried your team last year. He's not getting minutes. He turns
into barely Terry.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he's not getting any minutes. Okay, so that's failing right there. The other you forced Gordon Hayward into the starting lineup. Yes, it kind of helped at certain points of the season, but that injury, it takes a year to get back to where you need it. So that fails an organization. Now, the fire GM of the Pelicans, I forgot his name.
That guy.
That guy. He came on, and I heard him on a podcast. There was an offer to the Celtics.
Dell Demps.
Yeah. There was an offer to the Celtics for Anthony Davis with a package of Kyrie Irving and some of their draft picks. Now, those draft picks now look like trash because the highest one would probably be 9, and the other ones would be in the 15 and higher. You know what I mean? So, do you think Giannis would have been Giannis in this round of the playoffs if that was Anthony Davis in the lane? Hell no.
It's hard to make that deal midseason because Kyrie didn't. He got injured last year. You want to give the guy a chance.
True, but now there was already dysfunction throughout the entire season. You know what I mean? There was like, I hate him. The team's not doing anything. There was already dysfunction in the locker room. There was already problems. You know what I mean? So yes, they rolled the dice to see what we can do, but it failed. But there was an offer on the table to get rid of him. Now Kyrie's more likely gonna leave.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get anything for him. You rolled the dice on this year. Now Scary Terry is gonna get a big deal from somebody else. You probably can't afford to keep him. And so now you're going to lose two pieces of your key team when you could have made a deal to get somebody. And there's no way Giannis would have destroyed the Celtics the way he did if Anthony Davis was in the middle. But
yeah. All right, then we move on. Let's move on to E. And this one, this is the most Mike Pro horse I've ever seen in my life. This is Mike Pro at his finest. Go ahead.
Because I knew that some of these other topics we're gonna take a little bit longer on, so I figured this would be a quick one. But
I do like it though.
The internet is absolutely destroying Chris Webber for his analyst skills. Like, have you guys listened to him at all? Like, do you feel he's
pretty bad?
Yeah. Oh, Chris Webber.
He called time out on purpose, but that's beside the point. But
don't start that. All right.
But
don't.
He said Giannis is 6'12". Bro, did you really just say Giannis is 6'12"?
Yeah.
That's not a real thing.
Why not just say 7 foot?
He's 6'12". No, it's different. 6'12" and 7 foot is completely different. You know what I mean? And then he said that was an air ball, a bad air ball. Is there any good air balls out there? Have you ever seen a good air ball? Did it have a correct spin on it when it didn't hit anything? Like, the things that he says, I feel bad for the other guy sitting next to him to have to sit next to him each game and put up with his shit.
Is he the Jason Witten of?
Yes, he 100% is the Jason Witten of the NBA analyst.
He's just long-winded for no reason. Like he'll describe like a sequence, and that sequence would have ended 2 sequences ago, and he'll still keep going on about it. And I'm like, come on, man.
And you can. I feel like the other guy hates him because he says he says certain things, and then there's like a pause. It's like, bruh, why'd you you know what I mean?
This is some great audio right here. If I can cue it up. But they have this is I don't know if I find it, but the description is pretty funny. Is Chris Webber when Giannis does anything. Wait for it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I love hearing Mark Jackson and not Stan Van Gundy, but Jeff Van Gundy. And I love Reggie Miller. And
you know what else I actually hate? I hate Isaiah Thomas's commentary too.
Isaiah Thomas is not good at commentary.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
I think we just hate him just because he's just he's done a lot.
Always has that fake smile.
He does a lot of things over time to make you hate him. Just like
one year he sank an entire league of basketball. The CBA was gone after he acquired it. It was gone within a year. That's a fun fact.
It's almost just like Matt Millen. You know what I mean? He could probably say the most genius things ever said on this entire planet Earth. But I hate hearing his voice just because he destroyed.
Meanwhile, you know what's funny to me is that Doris Burke gets props, but she should be getting 100 more props. Doris Burke can run circles around Chris Webber.
I love Doris.
Yeah.
But you know what I actually love more than watching these NBA games is watching Inside the NBA on TNT with Chris Webber, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie. You know what I mean? That's why they've won so many Emmys for this show. Like, it's absolutely hilarious, and I just love the chemistry between all of them. And I hate certain games when they do the Warriors because I don't get to see it, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning that it's on. But they are absolutely great. I love the one with Jalen and Paul Pierce, which Paul Pierce got destroyed as well for his
pretty funny
for his Celtic take. And I got a huge crush on
Beetle.
I love Michelle Beetle. Man.
Well, he owned up to it. Did you guys see Paul Pierce after the Bucks? He owned up to it.
He kind of sort of owned up to
it. He threw shade at He still threw shade.
Yeah.
He had to, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's just way too much of people talking trash about him. Like, oh, the series is over. They didn't win again. You know what I mean? So, like, he had to own up to it. But
yeah. Either way, that is horse for the week of May 11th. So, plenty of NBA action going on too. But the one thing before we kind of officially move on is I don't understand, and maybe you guys can explain this to me a little better because I'm the oldest in the room, and maybe I just don't understand it. Why is Ayesha Curry getting so much grief for what she said about her not getting attention from men, but her husband getting a lot of attention from females?
Because that's the comments she said are feelings a lot of other girlfriends have had. They just don't say it out loud. There's just certain things like, because that's a very popular family, there's 1 million followers, the mom, dad, all the damn kids, the wife, you know what I mean? Just like everybody has 1 million followers. So there's 1 million cameras on them. There's so much like publicity around them. So anything that she says, she can say Cottonelle sucks. You know what I mean? Now she'll probably catch heat on that. But she has the same feelings that a lot of women have with their girlfriend, like about their dudes. Like, hey, man, he's way too friendly with these hoes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have an issue with what she said because, you know what I mean? I've had that been said to me, like, bruh, like, because I love people. I love, like, I make eye contact and I'm smiling at everybody. A lot of people take me smiling at them as I'm flirting with them or the whole 9 yards. So being extra friendly, but that's just my personality. So I've heard those same exact comments, like, you're way too friendly with these chicks. But that's kind of something that, since 20 million people are going to listen to what you're saying.
Right.
Your man is in the is in the playoffs. Do you think he needs any more stress? Do you think he needs any more questions? Do you think he needs any more problems on his plate? Save that for at home. Wait till he gets to the crib. Like, hey, you're super extra friendly. He's, babe, you probably told me that 20 times. You know what I mean? Like, she should catch him flack because she's causing extra problems, but I'm not going to give her crap just because majority of women probably feel this way about their man.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give her any, like, I just read the comment. I was like, okay, she said that. What's the big deal?
It's because it's Steph Curry's wife. That's it.
And honestly, like, I'm glad that she spoke honestly because candidly, because I think that what you said, Mike, about a lot of females feeling that same way. But in addition to, she's human. She's a fucking human being. What is wrong with people? Like,
she should have more confidence that, you know what I mean, she's putting it down, and you know what I mean, she's got a great family. They have a great thing going.
Social media does one thing very effectively.
Distorts people's, quotes and like takes everything out of context. Like, people made it seem as if she was saying that Steph wasn't enough and she needed more.
Exactly.
She wasn't really saying that. She was saying, like, he gets a lot of attention and that's fine, but I want to have my own identity and get, the same amount of attention or similar attention. That's all she was saying.
Yeah, and also in addition to, but what social media does, I think does the best job at, it tears down your self-confidence because you post anything. And, bro, you've witnessed this firsthand with people on even my own. People are
changing a tire?
Yeah, changing a tire. Changing a fucking tire. I still I don't post as much as I used to because
he caught a lot of heat because he waited for he pays for somebody to change his tire. You know what I mean? Like me, rim and tire package. You know what I mean? And he called a person to change his tire and he posted about it and he got destroyed for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, people said you should have done it.
It was also, keep in mind, it was minus 15 degrees outside.
Wow.
And I wasn't, and you well know, working on your car, iron with no gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I know how to change a tire. I know how to change oil. I know how to change my brakes.
I think that's the problem with social media. People feel like they have to prove something to other people.
But here's my thing. Don't take criticism from people that you wouldn't take advice from.
Yeah.
That's a good way to that's a good way
sure.
to put it. So, but still, we move on. There's some controversy. Controversy does not stop as Albert Pujols got his 2000th RBI on Thursday.
Third person ever?
Yeah, third person. What? Go ahead.
I could have sworn that's what I read.
Who's the other two?
The 2000 RBI? No, there's been more than that. You confused me there for a second. But either way, he got some grief. Well, he didn't get any grief, but a fan who caught the ball unfortunately did a whole. I don't know. This story is so weird in a lot of different directions. But essentially, he no longer wants the RB. He no longer wants the ball. And what happened was a Tiger fan caught the ball and went through this. This guy's name is Eli Hades changed his mind. He would like to give the ball back. He doesn't want it. He can keep it. He had a chance to give it Thursday. He declined. That's fine. It's his right. So
there's a lot of pettiness from this, and
yeah.
I would like to destroy the MLB for being extra petty. They wouldn't. What's the word for memorabilia? They wouldn't like validate it. They wouldn't. What's the word when you have something signed by something and you have they wouldn't authenticate the baseball because he wouldn't give it up. Yeah. Like that's so stupid. We only care about it nowadays. Babe Ruth, when he broke records, how many people were trying to steal the baseball from him? But no, it's the society we live in now that you have to give it up. This man said that he's been to hundreds of games throughout his entire, probably 1,000 games through his entire life. He carries a mitt every single game with him, and he's never gotten a baseball. And the one time he gets a baseball, just because some dude broke a record, he's got to give the damn ball up? Like, what, I got to go through another 1,000 games to get a ball?
I heard people clowning him for bringing a mitt to the game. Like, if you're over 16, you shouldn't be bringing a mitt.
But that's just people being mean for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't do it, but every time I'm at a game, I think about it. You mean maybe I should catch one. You know what I mean? How many times have we clowned a dude for being in the stands and then not catching the ball because he's got something in his hands, or the ball hits his girlfriend because he didn't catch it? I bet you if he had a glove, he probably could have caught it. You know what I mean? But he'd get clowned if he had the glove. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at this man for not giving up the ball, and it's not that he wanted money for it. Right. He wasn't like he got mad offers for this ball. I don't want the money. I waited 30 years to get a damn ball in the stands. Now I got one. I got to give it up because you guys want to be mean about it because he broke a record? No. That's not. It's not fair that he should have to, and it's not fair that people want to destroy him because of it.
It's kind of unfair that this even overshadows Albert Pujols' accomplishment too.
Yeah, and here's what he said on social media. This is what he said on his Facebook. I guess he hasn't posted in 5 years, so here it is. Holy shit. Okay. You all win. I posted my first social media update in 5 years. First, yesterday was surreal. I consider it an honor to catch Pujols' ball and try to act all day with the honor I thought was obligated to me. A couple of questions I've been getting. When I was yelling Anne Frank, it was a response to everyone in the media in the stadium telling me not to let anyone touch or hold the ball. But that was obvious, and perhaps I'm a nerd for history. I say Watson in cricket and Rosalina Frankie. You say DNA. I say Neil Armstrong, you say one step for man. I say Anne Frankie, you say people are truly good at heart. People were so cynical about the ball that I felt compelled to let every person and their monkey's uncle pose with the ball and hold it. The ball is right here at my coffee table. Anne Frank wins. Now go vote. Second, I'm not rich. I'm a broke-ass law student. I did not do this out of any sort of entitlement. Anne Frank, y'all. I had the best intentions. This ball will most likely end up in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry if no one can authenticate it, quote, he said in quotations, but the only reason it ended up with it is because Tigers management treated me so terribly. Number 3, this is a big one. Fuck for any of the news media that want to quote me. Villages, the living ones of the younger generation. They've ruined the damn game. They're greed incarnated. Their people treat me like garbage. I had to physically put my money into ushers' pockets because no one in America are allowed to take tips. They charge $11 for a beer now. They share zero profits with the city. They own most of them, my goddamn neighborhood, and thanks to Brian Gumbel, I know now they have owned it for years and let it fall in the blade in order to use that as leverage to get hundreds of $millions of from a city of the poorest people in America in the middle of filing bankruptcy. Hey, Chris Illich, fuck you. You're a scum. One more thing, and everyone yesterday was cool hell. Special shout out to the dude from the Detroit News. You're the coolest guy all day. Shout out to Dennis Fippy and Jeff Rieger. You guys are exactly as cool as I was hoping. I listened for y'all for years and gave you shout-outs all day. I quoted Quentin Berry as my favorite Tiger and told Caputo to suck it. LOL. What a great day. Which brings me to my last point. This part I actually thoroughly enjoyed. Everyone was so great with one exception. Kyle Bogey, which is from the ticket. Talking to Kyle on the phone interview, it became very quickly it was a hostile interview. Kyle is a terrible human being. I get that now. It was nothing major he did. He's just a dishonest scumbag who treated me like the Tiger staff did. Kyle, fuck you in big capital letters. My favorite part was when he called me a liar for having the audacity to say I wanted the ball for my son and my daughter and brother. Ooh, gotcha journalism at its finest. Or this. In the moment that I wanted everything to be everybody, and and I don't know whether gender of my baby who will be born in a week. I don't know the gender of my baby who will be born in a week. Bogey is a degenerate prick, plain and simple, and so Illich's. Other than that, I'm glad it happened to me. I'm glad the ball stays in Detroit. It doesn't have to go to Chokeland County. Oh, and I love being part of the hipster. I love being called a hipster 300 or 30,000 times over the media. I love reading negative print, but as the OG hipster destroyer, this one hurts a bit. Keep it up, y'all. And keep watching baseball and over tipping and giving hugs and being...
Yeah, giving hugs. I like that.
Yeah. Patriotic? I can't say that word. I'm sorry. And self-righteous. P.S. I've never actually dropped Anne Frank in a conversation before. A special shout out to my two brothers for dealing with the pricks all day.
See, like, if it was me, I would highest bidder come get it. You know what I mean? But that's me. I don't really care. I've gotten ball. You know what I mean? I've gotten one. But there's certain people who take pride in this. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to. It's not his job. There's nothing. Hey, when you buy this ticket, if somebody breaks a record, you got to give the ball up. You don't have to. That's not what it's about.
It takes away from the fan experience.
You know, it does take away from the fan experience. Yes, if somebody wants to give you 200,000 for it, maybe you should take it. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to. You have that option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a bad look.
It makes me want to carry a baseball in my pocket. So if I catch one, I get the record. All right, now I'm gonna swap it. Just like that one little kid did. He caught a foul ball. He had another ball in his pocket. And instead of, like, he turned to the female behind him and gave him the ball out of his pocket and pretended like it was the ball that he caught. And she was like, oh, she loved him for it. But inside that, he actually still had the ball in his pocket. You know what I mean? Put a little switcheroo. I'm completely all right with this man keeping the ball. It's because that's his right. He paid for a ticket. The ball came in the stands. That's his ball.
It would be cool if Albert Pujols reached out to him.
Yeah, I guess he does. I mean, he says he doesn't want the ball now, and they both handled it very classy. I guess Tony Paul on Twitter was reporting saying that there's multiple witnesses that back up Eli's version of the events, and not just his friends either. There's other people who said what he said actually happened. So they're posting because this is the statement from the Tigers, which is, we spoke with the members of the Comerica Park operations and security staffs that have contacted the guests, and no doubt our staff conducted themselves in a professional manner when speaking with the guest. After generous offers from both the Angels and Tigers, autographed memorabilia, including a meet and greet with Albert Pujols, our staff informed the guest he had a decision needed to be reached, and the Angels would be leaving the ballpark soon after the game ended. The guest wanted to keep a ball, and our staff left the area. That was the official public statement from the Tigers.
You know what? He should have sent back to Albert Pujols. It took you long enough, old man. Where have you been at the past couple of years?
Either way, like I give the guy a lot of props for sticking to his guns, and
he almost had to like leave immediately just because of heckling and stuff like that, which is it's not fair. It's not fair at all, and he shouldn't have to give up the ball if he doesn't want to.
I've never even heard that as a rule or a story.
Yeah, it's all because a record got made, and there's 4 other people ahead of him on the RBI list. So I wasn't far out. I knew I seen something, but he shouldn't have to. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Either way, it's a fascinating story because there's both sides there's so many multiple sides to it, but.
This is the last thing the Tigers should be worried about. You should be worried about not getting smacked again, 13-zip.
Yeah,
or I mean, the Twins are good though. The Twins, I'm telling you right now, the Twins. I said this when they're making some moves in the offseason. If the Twins get a pitching staff together, they can win a division right now. They have that kind of firepower, and they're showing it.
I actually just picked up their catcher in my fantasy baseball team, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, of course.
there's
always an Easter egg every show, and every Easter egg is how is Mike Pro going to put his fantasy baseball team in it? And that is an ongoing.
It just worked out perfectly on that one.
I'm waiting for Ravons when Ravon starts putting Easter eggs out there. Like, what can we expect from Ravon every week? Like, they kind of like subtly put in there, but
I'm not sure it's coming though.
It's coming. We always can guarantee that Mike Pro will throwing a fantasy baseball reference or fantasy football reference out there.
Shout out to Mitch Garver.
I stay away from the fantasy football. I don't understand how it works that well.
We'll teach you this fall. I mean,
and then
I can dive in right now.
I stay away from my bookie. It's costly.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, if you have no idea what you're doing, it can be costly very quickly.
Not necessarily. This is my first year playing baseball. Was last year. Had no idea, and it was the fact that I don't know anybody that I succeeded because I don't have feelings for anybody. Like there's like, oh, this guy, he's a hype player. He should be good. Blah blah blah. I don't know him. You know what I mean? But he's not producing, so I'm gonna cut him. So I got me to third place. But yeah, the Tigers. Like I was watching the game, and I'm pretty sure I sneezed and then I coughed, and then when I looked back at the screen, they were down like 6. I was like, "What?" I just looked away for like 20 seconds. What happened? And that the team is trash because like they kept the guy in. They kept the guy in. I think this was like his first start. But they kept the guy in, and I feel like they shouldn't have kept him in. But
are you talking about Carpenter's start?
Yeah,
Carpenter was in there because the Tigers didn't really have a lot of choice because they ran out Ross yesterday. Ross did not look not good at all today, and then the injuries keep piling up. Nico Goodrum got a knee contusion. He had a collision last night. I don't know if you guys saw that, and so. They've not had a run now in 2 games. You get whopped by the Twins, you get whopped by the Angels, and it's not looking pretty. And then they got a doubleheader today with recently called up Gregory Soto will get the start, and Spencer Turnbull will try to turn it around for the Tigers today as the doubleheader starts at 2:00 today. Oh,
shout out to ex Tigers pitcher Fires for getting his second no.
Yeah. No hitter, yeah, well done, and it was a lot of Tiger fans were kind of getting upset with what the Tigers got back in return, but you weren't going to get much for him. Newsflash, people.
Yeah, he's got 2 no-nos, but the rest of his stats are like trash. So I mean, I understand it. It kind of highlights his career. He's got 2 no-nos, but I mean, if you look at the rest of it, just whatever.
Yeah. So, but either way, I mean, like you look at today's starters, Spencer Turnbull has allowed, in his last 4 starts, just 2 earned runs on 14 hits in 24 innings. And he pitched a career high of 7 innings last Sunday. So, and by the way, he leads the All-American League with a 2.31 earned run average. So, there you go. And the Twins starter today is Michael Padilla, And the guy's, he's been struggling quite a bit. But that's your 2:00 game against the Twins. So
yeah, they got a nice doubleheader today.
Yeah, they're off. The Tigers' offense continues to struggle a little. You can say that they hit all the hard hit balls yesterday. The announcers tried to do the spin as they possibly could, but yeah, that's what's going on with the Tigers. And
then they got a doubleheader with the Minnesota Twins, and then they have another game tomorrow.
Yep,
tomorrow against the Twins, and then the
doubleheaders to make up for a rainout. By the way.
Yep, and then they have a 3-game series with the Astros.
Yeah, that starts on Monday. I'm going to the first game on Monday. I'm going to go see. It is usually my wife and I do a game in May. We have not done a game in May in a while, so yeah.
Be patient with the Tigers. We're supposed to suck this year. Maybe not suck as bad certain games, but it's the course we're taking, and there is a plan in there's a plan in effect. There's cheap tickets. So if you got kids, you want to go, you can definitely see a Detroit Tigers game for the lows. Like the same price that I paid for Rams opening game tickets last season. You can get some good seats for $13. Why not?
Yeah.
And yes, I bought a Los Angeles Rams a football game ticket last year, and I don't even live in Los Angeles. Whatever, it was $13.
Do you guys ever use SeatGeek as a?
Yeah, I have.
I like that app.
Yeah.
And if you use the code TK show, you can get 10% off your first purchase.
Good to know.
SeatGeek.
Yeah, there you go. We don't get paid for that, do we? I wish we did. Yeah, I like the way you sound. You sound like a. All right, so and go ahead and lead. Whoever wanted to lead the Red Sox conversation, go for it, because I like that.
Red Sox.
This story was kind of weird. I mean, I don't know too much about what happened, but the manager and several players on the Red Sox turned down an invitation to the White House, And I think the White House put out a statement, and they spelled the Red Sox name wrong.
That's being petty, and they did it on purpose. 100%. There's no way that you can like make that mistake on. You put extra letters. You know what I mean? You put extra letters that don't even go in there. So I don't understand how that's even possible. You did it on purpose because you're mad that people don't want to come. You should be used to it by now because out of this presidency, there's been more teams and more players to turn down coming there than ever before. So you should be used to it. And why do they not want to come? Because their manager is Puerto Rican and he doesn't like the support that the U.S. showed during hurricanes and the ongoing rebuilding process of that country. So therefore, people don't want to come. You shouldn't be mad at it. You should be used to it by now. Like I said, the most all-time non-wanting to come players, teams, all time. Yeah. Nobody wants to come. Nobody wants to come. So you shouldn't be petty for no reason, all right? You should show a little bit of class. Like, okay, you hate me for certain reasons, whatever. I'm still going to congratulate you, and I'm still going to show you some respect. But to do that, I guarantee you that came from the top. Hey, how can we disrespect them? Socks. Socks.
Yeah. No one's going to show us up. I mean, that's a kind of salt capacity that is out there.
And that's it's only going to make things worse. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yes, people hate you, but doing petty things like that is only going to continue to make people hate you.
Should they just do away with this tradition of even visiting the White House?
And no, because it's kind of tradition and you have to. And he's the president, so got to kind of offer, even though nobody really wants to, because you wouldn't want them to stop doing it, and then the next president, he might love it. He might show respect, and people might want to go. You know what I mean? So you can't stop doing something just because one person sucks.
Yeah. I think it's here's the thing, though. The tradition's getting weirder and weirder in the last 8 years, even before Trump was in office. There's always some sort of weirdness to it lately, and so
it just got extra weird because it's Trump, and it's like
but there was people also who didn't want to come in office when Obama was there.
True that, but it wasn't as blatant though. You know what I mean? Like you got.
That's because he wouldn't offer them, fast food for dinner.
That's the other thing. Like I don't get why it's fast food that he does it for some of these things, and unless McDonald's is coming in there and using their kitchen to cook the food.
Yeah,
I can't go to McDonald's right now and get my food home and it still be warm. Let alone McDonald's dropping off some food and then it's sitting there. You take pictures for an hour and a half and then now you serve it and it's still warm. No, there's no way it's still fresh.
That's a good point.
And that's what bothers me. I don't even care that it's fast food. I love fast food. We just talked about in the U.S. Today poll of fast food and wasted money. I don't care it's fast food, but there's zero chance that food is still fresh. Fresh to death. Rockefeller Records. We get down, baby. We get down. Girls are girls. They love us. Oh.
Yeah, that was pretty petty for him for them to misspell their name. And then even last year when the Warriors declined to visit, how he just called out Steph Curry on Twitter and just pretty much was like, you're not invited, even though he already told him he wasn't coming.
Yeah, that's cool. That's adorable. I don't want that to happen.
So moving on to the NHL. Oh, forgot. Nobody actually cares. So moving on again to the NFL. Kind of news and headlines. Greedy Williams and Odell Beckham Jr. vow Super Bowl guarantee. They were advised by the coaching staff to keep to themselves. Are the Browns setting themselves up for failure? And
let's see here. I think the Browns. I don't know.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I was going to say
because
Raymond, you want to lead it up.
Yeah, because Odell said they're going to be the new Patriots. When you start saying stuff like that, and then he said something else like something to the effect of I only look bad or something on scrub teams, or he was pretty much dissing the Giants. I can't remember what he said verbatim.
That's true though.
But even though it's true, you don't have to say it. So in that regard,
freedom of speech, man. What do you mean?
Well, you got to deal with the consequences if you don't live up to those predictions. So, I don't think that's the smartest move to just pencil in the Browns.
But you got to toot your own horn. If you're not going to toot your own horn, who's going to? You know what I mean? Like
you don't have to toot it to the press, though.
Got to. He's got a brand. You know what I mean? The Browns have a brand. They're trying to be better. You know what I mean? It's not the paper bag Browns anymore. That's the end of the paper bag Browns era. That's over with. You know what I mean? So you need flashy guys like this. You need people to, like, even though they're selling out tickets and the whole 9 yards, like, I believe it. And yes, they kind of clowned him for the Patriots comment. But
right.
If you're going to try to, like, you know, if you have a certain goal, isn't the Patriots the goal that you want to be? If you're going to
clearly the standard.
They're the standard. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, they're the standard. So I understand, like, yes, they're a dynasty, and you haven't won anything yet, so that's why you're catching flack about it. But you want to win championships every single year, and you want to be in contention every single year. That's basically what he said. So I love it. You know what I mean? I was on the.
I mean, that's for sure. That's nothing wrong with saying that. Like, we want to get to that level, but when you start saying we're going to win it, then that's like, I don't know. You kind of that's like false confidence on.
I think they're going to win the division.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You got Cincinnati. They're taking a step back. You got Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like, Pittsburgh lost key players. You know, Ben Roethlisberger is older. I mean, they're going to be where they're at.
I'm a skeptic, though, because they haven't had this much hype since Johnny Manziel.
And that was bad. That was bad because he wasn't even that good. And then they didn't even start him till late anyways. And
right.
I feel like he could have succeeded if there was the right pieces around him.
I agree.
But they failed him by not making that happen. But I love the Browns, and not just because on this squad. You know what I mean? I rooted for them when we did picks. When they went 0-16, I picked the Browns on when we did our NFL picks. Majority of those weeks, clearly I lost those because they went 0-16. You know what I mean? So I'm not bandwagoning the Browns. I've rooted for them for a few years now, but there's a lot of hype around them. They have a stacked squad, and that's what you can do when you suck for a while. You have a lot of draft picks, and you have a rookie quarterback. When you're not paying your quarterback $25 to $30 million, you can put other pieces around it and take chances like this. You know what I mean? Jarvis Landry, Juice, bless him. You know what I mean? Love the guy. OBJ, best. Now you got two best friend wide receivers.
Yeah.
On the squad. You know what I mean? And then the picks that you had, Denzel Ward on one side, and then Greedy Williams. I don't care that he can't tackle. It means nothing to me. He can guard though. You know what I mean?
No one ever complained about Deion Sanders being a great tackler.
You know what I mean? Like, so yes, if you need him to tackle, other things have broken down. Other things have broken down in the play if you need this man to tackle. So yes, he probably made more business decisions in college than most other players, but you got to make those decisions so you can make it to the NFL so you can get paid. Maybe he steps it up a little bit more because he's getting paid to do it now. Nobody wants to do anything for free. I'm not about to possibly hurt my body. Okay, let's just say he took some of them tackles. All right, well, if he separates his shoulder.
Right.
His draft stock already dropped because they think he can't tackle, but maybe he would have been third, fourth rounder because he had an injury. So I understand where he's coming from, but they got a stacked squad, and yes.
On paper, yeah, they look good, but I don't know. I'm just never been a fan of bold predictions. Just let the game do the talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the hype behind the Browns all season, it's got me nauseous because until it gets on the field, like I don't care.
And it's only going to get better. Now they still have a lot of cap room. There's other deals that can happen to get them even better. And then after week 8, who joins the squad? Can anybody tell me? Kareem Hunt. Yeah. Kareem Hunt joins the team after week 8. I'm not a big Nick Chubb fan, but he's serviceable until then. But Kareem Hunt's going to join. I guarantee you, week 9, he will play. He's going to serve his suspension, and then he's going to play. He's going to get some boos. He's going to play for a few weeks. And then, like I say a million times on this show, success rules everything. He's going to get some boos, and then he's going to be good, and then the boos are going to get quieter, and quieter and quieter. Because I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but that's the world that we live in, and people are going to forget the things that he did when he succeeds. Now, if he sucks, the boos will get louder. But if he's good, everything will get quieter and quieter. So,
yeah, I know that all Mike's trying to do right now is be on top, the head of the bandwagon that he started. So that way he's just like, hey, I told you.
Yeah.
My first day of the road show that I was the captain of the Browns bandwagon. He is ready to go. He's got his captain's hat on. He's got his seat. He is good to go. Mike Pro is the captain of the Browns bandwagon. Congratulations.
He's the captain of almost every non-Detroit sports team except for the Tigers.
Yep. Oh, and Pistons.
True that. I mean,
he's in the back of the bus for the Pistons.
I do hate on a lot of the Pistons, but I mean, Detroit teams.
Why are you hating on the Tigers though?
No, I love the Tigers. What do you mean? I've already said the Tigers are my favorite Detroit team to root for. You know what I mean? The Lions, I love football, so I root for them.
Speaking of the Lions, by the way, what rookie do you think is going to have the most impact? They've so far T.J. Hawkinson, fifth rounder Amari. I'm not going to dare. Awukawari, and second rounder
Delaney Tabari.
Yeah, signed as a Thursday. What rookie do you think is going to have the most impact by pro?
TJ, 100%. Just because he's a plug and play type of player. He's probably what most NFL scouts have said. He's one of the most NFL ready offensive players that were drafted in the first couple of rounds. So there's not much fine tuning that he needs to get done to play. He's going to start week 1, but yes, historically, rookie tight ends don't have the biggest impact their first year in the league. But when your quarterback, his favorite position to throw is the tight end, and the tight end position, Jimmy Graham is Jimmy Graham because of the offense that he was in. And what offense was that? That was Bevel's offense. Where's Bevel at now? The Detroit Lions. So that tight end position is going to succeed under Bevel, and when you got a perfect tight end like Hawkinson, he's going to make a huge impact.
Really quick breaking news that this just came out. You guys noticed last night when he was making through, he looked at Green and said, "Kick me off the court again, boy."
You said what?
When Stephen Curry looked at when they bumped chest and he was like giving him a fist pump, he's like, "Kick me off the court, boy." Do you guys remember hearing that at all?
No, I'm confused.
Well, here's why. So on the day or on yesterday's game, before the game, Curry wanted to get some shots up at the Toyota Center. So the Warriors manager, Eric Hausen, booked the court from 7 to 8 p.m. so Curry could work on a shot. Somehow, Rockets guard or Chris Paul got wind of it, decided to go to Toyota Center to get shots up, nixing Curry's reservation. The point guard offered to stick that just a half a court, but Paul wasn't having it, and then he got Curry kicked off Toyota Center court. Shade.
Well, Chris Paul can practice all summer now.
He
on his own court.
He can't take his old ass, 34-year-old body. Maybe he needs to sit it down so that way he can have more energy to play, because he clearly was not getting to his spots.
That makes perfect sense. Why? Stephen Curry played the man possessed in the second half, but
at the same time, though, that's his home court. I don't care if I had a broken leg and I wasn't even playing in the game. If that's my home court, now you want to get practice in? No, that's just trying to get a competitive advantage. So, yes, it's kind of petty, but at the same time, I get it. Why do I want one of – we talked about Steph Curry earlier. Probably going to go down as one of the best shooters in the game. He hasn't showed that during this season. Why do I want this man to practice to possibly get hot before the game even starts? So when the game starts, he can get hot. You know why? That's why he went 0 in the first half, because he didn't have that practice for that hour. But after an hour of practice on the court, he got fire in that second half. So maybe Chris Paul probably saved them from getting blown out in the first half because he didn't let Steph Curry get that hour.
Typical Chris Paul behavior.
And we talked earlier in the season. The horse question: Who's like a player that you probably hate to play against in the past? And me and you both had the same two players, which was funny. But at the same time, Chris Paul is up there. He's a pest. He's annoying. He will get under your skin.
Dirty.
Borderline dirty. And the president of the Players Association. So
yeah,
I get it though. I'm not mad at Chris Paul for doing that, because there's no way I'm going to let this man get some extra practice to catch fire.
I'm only mad because it's Chris Paul. If it was anybody else, I would feel okay. But it's Chris Paul, so I'm biased.
It was pretty funny, though.
Yeah, anyways. Sorry to mean the break up the football talk there, but I just thought it was funny.
But yeah, I agree. I think T.J. Hawkinson will probably, have the most impact coming in as a number 8 pick, the tight end position. I haven't really gotten a chance to watch too much highlights from the other picks, but it just seems like T.J. is going to be there for the long haul anyway. So
there wasn't many highlights of the other picks because ESPN didn't have them because we've reached on other players, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
There's other moves to still be made. There's still going to be a lot of cuts. I do believe we have like roughly $10 to $13 million left on the cap, so we're waiting on some of those cuts when training camp happens. So to fill out some of those holes that we didn't take care of during the draft. But I did see that the over/under Vegas had for the Lions was like 6 at most, 4. 6 at most, 4 at worst. You know what I mean? It's like it does not look good thus far.
Another year.
Another year. Yeah, another year wasted draft picks.
Maybe we can get the number 1 pick, and then Tua can be our Russell Wilson.
And that's why I don't like. But here's the thing. That's also why I don't like draft grades, because here we are teams giving us C and D on guys they've not even seen playing schemes yet.
That's true. You should probably wait till they're at least 3 or 4 weeks in.
Yeah. Draft grades should be
banned. Yes.
No, they should be based 2 years out. You should give grades.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
You know what I mean? I don't care how many players drafted don't even get significant playing time until the end of the season. So you're giving a grade for no reason. How about you do it 2-3 years out? You do draft grades. Just like I honestly feel like about some of these movies that come out, there shouldn't be awards that same year. Let it marinate for a little bit. I like Ben put me on on the Ringer podcast where they do the rewatchables. And sometimes they would do the movies who won Best Picture and stuff like that 5 years ago. And then how do you feel about it now? And
that's a great point. But I think because people want the information now. It just kind of has to be there. I don't know. I like the idea of the draft grades. I mean, it is kind of weird to judge it even though they haven't played. But I guess it just gives the fan some sort of indication of where their team is going.
True that. I mean, we didn't get the best grades from our picks, but if they work out, those grades would turn. But a lot of people have no idea what a lot of these picks were, do we have like the Patriots direct hotline?
I think they're on speed dial
for sure. I mean, who could we trade with? I mean, we for sure can trade with the Patriots. You know what I mean? But there has been rumor that Jamie Collins, another expatriate, you know what I mean, he does have some interest in the Lions. I mean, so who knows? We do have some holes, and I don't really have high hopes for the year.
So 6 wins at the most. Wow, as our projection.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I see at least training camp before I make a prediction of sorts.
Depending on like the cuts and the pickups, but
yeah, exactly.
We didn't do anything significant to raise the bar. You mean there's no how many game changers besides what Dante Fowler? I mean, not Dante Fowler. Our biggest off season pickup.
This is the first time I can recall, like my lifetime, that all 4 Detroit, major sports teams are just like down, like all at the bottom.
Yeah, but there's at least a plan for the Red Wings.
Yeah,
I have high hope for them. There's a plan. There's a plan in place. They are making strides.
Although that whole like Ken Holland press conference was weird, and then no surprise. I thought he was going to go to Seattle, but then him going to Edmonton, be the GM, it was interesting.
Yeah, so I knew he'd get another gig quick, the writing was on the wall with this transition anyways. You mean, so there's a plan with the Red Wings. All right. There's a plan with the Tigers. We got some bad people on the team. We're trying to get some of these bad contracts off. I can't wait till Zimmerman's gone 100%. That's I don't really care about Miggy and him pointing blame at the other teammates, which I thought was pretty funny, him blaming other players for him not hitting more home runs.
What did he say?
His production's bad because he doesn't have a lot of protection in the lineup. And it's just because nobody fears the next person. You know what I mean? It's like it sounded weird, like on paper, like what?
That might be a shot at management.
How are you going to blame the next person? But no, the team just sucks. There's nobody. There's nobody before or after. He can't get any RBIs. He can't get any RBIs.
He's pretty much saying I'm old and I'm the young blood on the team isn't really
trash.
It's not helping me preserve my career.
Well, we got we're last in the MLB in home runs, so it's not just Miggy. The whole team blows.
That offensively speaking, this is a team that cannot really and utterly. They don't have any extra base power. It doesn't matter. Miguel doesn't have any proper protection, but I don't really think it matters either. You
got to have protection, though. Protection is good.
No protection, yeah.
Or are you guys about no protection?
Oh, you gotta have protection. If you don't have protection, you're screwed in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, B.
Yeah. I was gonna say, B, you better wrap that up. Exactly. That is exactly what you need to do. And on that note, I think it's we're gonna wrap it up right now.
Well, there was one last question.
Sure,
we kind of somewhat got to it, but Bob Quinn said during the draft that he finds drafting players for Patricia's defense easier than drafting players in the past. And so the question is, what do you think the ceiling is for the Lions defense, and what's going to be the core strength?
This better be this Lions defense better be the next incarnation of the early 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense, the way they're making it sound like.
They're blowing smoke up our ass. I mean, there's not much. Like, what's he really gonna say? Like, man, this defense is kind of tough, and there's not many players out there to fit this defense. So it's just a PC answer to a PC question. You know what I mean? Just there's not much that he could say. So he said the right thing for that question. So.
Yeah. But now there's more to it. But so we'll look over the comments, see who we would give one of the packs of NBA cards to, and we appreciate everybody listening this morning live, or if you're listening online at sportsradiodetroit.com on podcast, we appreciate it. Probably by the end of the month, if I line it up right, we're going to be rolling out our own feed, so you can find us on our own feed on iTunes and what have you. So. We look forward to talking to you next week. Jamie will be in studio. The other show, there's a new Lion show coming out, which will have 2 female hosts. As it's tentatively, but the other host might be here as well. So Jamie will be live with us in studio next week. And she sent me a very disturbing picture of one of those Instagram filters or Snapchat filters. It was really weird. But anyways, I'll show you guys.
Those filters get.
I hate Snapchat.
Thank you. I as well. I have it for reasons because it's part of like doing social media for a living, but I don't ever use it myself. So
I don't know why I have it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows. Or
I don't
among the three of us probably.
I don't believe I've taken a snap in.
I've never downloaded the app ever.
Months. You know what I mean?
You're not missing much, Trayvon.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you all next week. Have a good one.